Well, here we go. I hope we have people coming today. I think the notification is going out. And then we'll be happy to welcome the first people. Shegun Fatumo, you are just on another level. You are just a different breed of your own. Lola Shoronke, Bosef Fayajuola, Natalia Valentinovna, Bill Muna Prosper, Victor Ogundipe, Abby Kosh, Julia Cole. Welcome everyone. Adedayo Dada, Kenneth Amobi, Maddie Boris from Australia, Tasmania, Nkiro Jimado, welcome back home. Charles Smith, Basil, Charles Ushe, Oluwatoyin. Please, let's go and share the message as we are coming in. Lola, Obina. Let's go ahead and share the message. Pat Osaro, Jake, okay. Osobase, Mike Simeons. Please, let's go ahead and share the message. Shegun Lawal has done that. Let's go ahead and share. Kike, welcome. Solomon from Perth, Australia. Ola Martin, Nkiru. Let's go ahead and share the message, okay? And we can start. Once you begin to share the message, let everybody that has come in now go back to their share button. Olushola, welcome. Andres, welcome. Sherry Christie, Stephanie Lee, Justin Mayo, welcome. Esther Kuganja, Patrick, Chichi, Anna Vos. Yeah, let's go ahead and share the message. And if you're set, we are ready to go. Victor, Bamishaye, blessings. All right. I was talking with Esther Kuganja, that I just greeted right now, and she told me a story. She told me she went to school in England. She went to school in England, and she read, is it business management and finances? Business and finances. Esther, if you don't mind, I want to share your story. And I think it will be a blessing to somebody, because I also spoke to another person yesterday, another lady who said exactly the same thing. So Esther was telling me that, Pastor, these 2 weeks that I'm learning from you, I think she did first degree or master's degree, or maybe first and second degree in the university in UK. And what she studied was business administration, business and finance management, business and finance. And she said, but what I've learned from you this 1 week is more than what she has learned in all her years of university. Oh, okay, hi. I was just saying I spoke to another person as well. So I spoke to another person apart from Esther, and she also read, I think, business and finance as well. I think she also read business and finance. I think she read finance. And she also said what she has learned this week, okay, Esther is giving me the go-ahead, and what she has learned this week is much more than what she learned in all her years in university. And everybody is telling me that all the time. Every week I hear somebody tell me that even though they studied finances or they studied business or they studied management or anything they studied in university, that 1 week with Pastor Sunday here this week has given them more than all the years they spent in their university. I said, so I was asking Esther, did you pay for the university education? She said, oh, she paid a lot of money. And you know what it means to come from Africa to study in the university in the UK. You pay from your nose. Of course she paid. So I said, where is that money now? She said, I don't know. I said, she said, if you had listened to me 10 years ago, she said, I would have become a millionaire now. Instead of giving all that money to the school. So the school take all the money and they give you just enough knowledge for you to keep on looking for work. I'm laughing not because I'm ridiculing you or laughing at you. I'm just laughing because you are left just with laughter. Either you laugh or you cry. So Esther was telling me I'm mad sometimes that she gets annoyed at the fact that, oh my God, why did she know this thing? She would have saved so much money. So I asked her another question. I said, Esther, what would have happened if all the tens of thousands that you are paying every year for your university education in England, if all those tens of thousands had been put in investment for yourself, if you had paid yourself, if it had been invested in your own future? And somebody was coming here to say that, I was looking for my own thing and that I'm doing all this just to exploit people to get tight from you guys. I said, the money you have spent in the universities, I mean, nobody accuses university for anything, but I'm not even asking. I don't need your money. You need me. You need my money. I can sustain all of you. I don't need your tithe. I don't need your offering. So, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I need to set my people free. And I need to set God's people free. It's a matter of pain for me. It's a matter of life for me. I'm suffering when I see so much ignorance. And I'm suffering when I see so much that could have been done. I can change the destiny of every human being on earth. And when I see that people don't even come to me, or people don't even know about this, or people are just living in ignorance and suffering, I begin to suffer myself. So I'm not doing this for money. You don't need to give me offering. You don't need to give me offer, because I begin to suffer because I know so much and I cannot help people. And people don't even know I know so much. I'm sure many of you have heard of my name before, and you didn't even know what you could get from me. And many of you, you've just heard about the fact that Pastor Sunday is a pastor or he has a big church. That's nothing compared to what you could learn from Pastor Sunday. And so that's why I began to do this, that, okay, if people don't know about me, if they don't know what I could offer, let me begin to offer it myself. Let me begin to just share with anybody who wants to, not because of money. And the money you've already spent and wasted on other things anyway, it will not come back to you, but you could still learn things and learn principles and start afresh and start your life afresh. So if your last 10 years have been wasted, your next 10 years don't have to be wasted. They don't have to be wasted. And now you understand why I need to go back to Africa? I will confess that the first 30 years of my life, of my staying in Europe, I'd never thought of going back to Africa. I thought I would never go back there again, because I just thought people are too much, for me, as far as I was concerned, that they are too much unserious, and they are not. I thought that Africa is not meant for me, and that people are not serious. But Jesus appeared to me, and he told me to go back to Africa. And he actually told me that everything I've done here so far is only a preparation. That it was my school. God used that to prepare me for Africa. So eventually, the reason why God has raised me up is not just for other continents, but for Africa as well. So that's where my final lap of the race will be. And I must change Africa in my lifetime. And Africa must cease to be a neglect. And, I'm going to set that continent free. You wait. It sounds like it's pride. It sounds like big talk. But I've done it before. That's my life. I've done it in a foreign country where they hate me. And I'm going to do it in Africa. You wait. I'm going to do it in Africa. And that is why I wrote this book. And you see, Obina just said he has read my book. I think he's talking about my African book. Obina Ofoshuku said, I have read your book, Pastor, with tears. And he's not the only one that has read this book with tears. And even, like I said, there was Layo Israel Emmanuel, that she said she was not planning to go back to Africa anymore in her life until she read this book. And now she said, Pastor, if you are going to use this book to transform Africa, I'm going back with you. So if you want to join my team for Africa, and you believe, I mean, you want to contribute, you want to do something, because we all have limited time on earth. We all have limited time on earth. We are not going to be here forever. We must all try to do something memorable so as to leave a memory. So I think I am 50 now. I'm 50 years old. So when you are 50, you want to do something because you are on your final lap. I'm going home. I want to go to heaven. I'm not. The earth is not attractive to me. I'm not attracted by anything in this world. The world is not attractive to me. Heaven, I'm dreaming of heaven every day. I want to die. I want to go back home. But I still need another maybe 40 years to live, to stay around, to help Africa, but to make a difference as well, and to leave the footprint of my life in the sand of history. So if you want to do the same thing, if you want to contribute to the regeneration and transformation of Africa, and you want to join my team, please, you need to write to me. And my email is pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. But that's my direct email. But you might need to write to me to the foundation. I started a foundation. I'm sorry that it was frozen. We've lost about 50 people already. Sorry for that. We're back. I needed to refresh the internet. We're back. I think I was talking about Africa. And anyway, the bottom line is, if you want to join me in Africa, I would like you to write to me. And my email is pastor@godembassy.org. Or you could write also to my foundation. I started a foundation just for that. And my foundation is, the address of my foundation is Nigeria at SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. Nigeria at SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. So we are back here, and I don't know why I got there. I think it is Esther that took me to that journey. Esther and Nkem. Yeah. Anyway, thank God that it's better late than never. It's better late than never. Some of you, have gone to all these universities. You need it because without university, they will not give you a job. But you should know something about Uncle Sam's system. One thing about the Uncle Sam system and the system of this world is that they make you go to university and they make you get that degree, not because they want you to stand on your own, not because they want you to become someone of significance. They make you to go to the university and get a degree just for you to know enough to be able to manage their resources and their wealth. They just want you to go to school, get education, and then manage their business for them. Not to be able to know enough to be able to do what they are doing. They will never teach you all these secrets I'm teaching you. They will never teach you all these know-hows and all this wisdom that will enable you to be so empowered by yourself, and that will make you to be able to own properties and own the world like they are owning the world. They will never give you enough for you to control the world. They will never teach you all it takes for you to be able to be the master of your life. They want you to be managers of their businesses, to be directors of their businesses, to be head of departments of their own businesses and all the things they have. But they will never they will never give you enough for you to be independent of them. Otherwise, why should they even give you that education in the first place? Because the educational system of this world is set up by people who are oppressing you. The educational system of this world is also owned by Uncle Sam. It's set up by the oppressing system. So, and it doesn't matter if you are white or black. It's just a little clique of people, maybe 3% of people in the world. Only 3% of people in the world control all the wealth and the riches of this world. And every other person, they send you to school so that you come back from school and manage their resources for them. You manage their resources for them. Anyway, that is not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about today is, why is the poor getting poorer and the rich getting richer? I think that should be interesting for you. To you. Why is the poor getting poorer and the rich getting richer? Will you find that interesting? Why is the poor getting poorer and the rich getting richer? Why is the poor getting poorer and the rich getting richer? Like I've already explained a lot about that and a lot on that yesterday. But let me tell you, one, the rich gets richer not because God does not see the injustice in this world, because we call it injustice, because when we see that we are poor and and we don't have enough to eat and we don't have enough wealth and resources in our hands, we are always complaining that is injustice. But we don't normally analyze what led to it, what led to that kind of situation whereby some people have a lot and some have almost close to nothing. What is the reason behind it? And so why? And if God is a just God, and if God is a holy God, is a God of justice, if God is a good God, why is it that God is seeing all this and is closing his eyes at them? Or why is it that God is not responding? Why is God not, putting some order in place? Why is it that God is not, taking the wealth from the rich and giving to the poor? Or what is happening really? What is really going on? What is God seeing all these things that's happening in the world? Is God seeing all this mess that the poor is getting poorer and the rich getting richer? What is God doing about it? I mean, that used to be my emotions. That used to telling you the truth. I used to feel like that, and I used to think. And I understand some atheists. Some people who are atheists and agnostics, they say they don't believe in God. Why you don't believe in God? Oh, because if there is God, why is there so much sufferings? If there is God, why are there so many poor people? If there is God, why are there so many things going wrong? And why all these things happening? Well, first of all, God is a God of justice. And it is because of that he will not act impulsively like we would have acted. It is because God is a God that respects his principles and he respects his rules and laws, that he will not act irrationally just by emotions. He will not go and throw away the whole place and scatter the whole world just because he sees that some people are poor. Now, God knows what we don't know. God knows that even the people that are poor, they need help. But the help they need is not in the fact that they need money. Because if you give them money sometimes, you might be killing them even the more. I mean, I remember I saw a film about the Aborigines in Australia. And you see, the Australian white Australians, they some of them started feeling guilty at the fact that all these black Aborigines are living in the bush and they are so poor and everything. So they decided to be giving them welfare. They decided to be giving them money, welfare. The same thing in America. They give welfare or money to poor people in the hoods or in the bush or wherever they are living. So in this particular film in Australia led to the fact that, showed the fact that when they started giving them allowances and this welfare money, the only thing these Aborigine people were doing with that money, most of them were doing, they were using it to buy drinks. They were using the money to buy a lot of alcohol. And they started, they never knew what alcohol was before. But, the white man brought alcohol to Australia, to the Aborigines, and that was the thing they now started drinking. I think up till now, a lot of those Aborigine people, they are still on alcohol. A lot of them are even worse. Their situation is much more worse than when they were without money. Now that they have money, they are using their money to kill themselves. What is the reason for this? The reason for this is that it is not the biggest problem anybody that is poor has. It's not the fact that he's poor. The biggest problem that a poor person has is the poverty of the mind, is the fact that he needs to know something. He needs to be renewed in his mind. He needs to change his attitude. Why is the poor getting poorer? Because he doesn't know what the rich know. Why is the poor getting poorer? Because he doesn't have the right attitude to small things like we spoke about yesterday. Why is the poor getting poorer? Because he needs to change. Why is the poor getting poorer? Because it is not money that made them poor. It is his belief system, his value system that made him poor. So when we really want to help people in Africa, for example, we need to start by changing the value system of our people. We need to start by giving them illumination, by giving them knowledge, by giving them, understanding. Not the kind of revelation or teaching that people are doing in the religious churches and, just making people more captivated and more in bondage and more slaves of people. I'm talking about messages that will liberate people. I'm talking about principles that will set their minds free. The Bible says that you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. When it comes to finances and poverty, we need to bring the truth to the people. We need to set them free by the power of the truth. And if they will know the truth shall set them free. The Bible says that my people are perished not for lack of bread. My people are perished not for lack of money. My people are perish because of lack of knowledge. It is lack of knowledge that makes people to perish. It is ignorance that is killing the people of God most of all. It's number one reason why the poor is because of ignorance. Especially because of the ignorance of the law of money. And so I want to explain that today. Why is the poor getting poorer? And why is the rich getting richer? I've to explain a little bit about that, but let me illuminate you more on this. Let's go back to the scripture that I read yesterday. The scripture from Luke chapter 16. The scripture from Luke chapter 16, verses 10 to 12. Luke 16, verses 10 to 12. It says, "He who is faithful in little will also be faithful in much. And he who is unfaithful or unjust in what is little will also be unjust in what is much." I will not talk about that anymore. Little things determine either we are poor or we are rich. Attitude to little things are the things that determine either we are going to be poorer or we are going to be richer. Attitude to small things are one of the main factors that determine if the money will be taken from the hand of the poor and given to the rich to even be richer or not. So now I talked about that yesterday. I'm not going back to that anymore. But in this particular scripture, it continues to say, that is in Luke 16, verse 11 says, "Therefore, if you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, if you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust true riches?" Who will commit to your trust the true riches? If you have not been faithful in unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your hand true riches? Now, that is giving us another key right there. One of the keys why the poor is getting poorer and the rich is getting richer is because of, like I said, lack of knowledge. It's because they don't know the laws of money. It's because they don't live by the right principles. It's because their paradigm and their worldview is faulty. It needs to be corrected. But of course, we know there are oppressions, there are political oppressions, there are corruption, all those things are factors. But even more important than that is the factor of what is happening to you as an individual. Everybody is supposed to take their own life in their own hands. At the end of the day, what matters is what you do with your life. And so one of the main factors why the poor will get poorer is because of their attitude to small things. Then the next thing why the poor is getting poorer is because of their attitude to what Jesus called the unrighteous wealth, to worldly wealth, to unrighteous riches. Now, what is the poor doing with unrighteous riches? What is the attitude? What could there be for an attitude? What kind of attitude could there be in the poor regarding worldly riches? Worldly riches is like this passage is so confusing to me. It used to be so confusing to me because I said, how can you say the poor are getting poorer and then the little they have in their hand will be taken from them and given to another, and if they don't even have these worldly riches, if they don't have these worldly riches, why blame them that they are not faithful in it? Then I discover that everybody has got something. But even when you don't have money as a poor person, your attitude to money goes a long way to decide either you are going to be rich or you are going to be poor. Your attitude, the attitude of the poor to money, goes a long way to decide why they are getting poorer and why the rich is getting richer. The attitude to money, pay attention to that place. Attitude to money is one of the major keys. One is attitude to small things, and the second thing now is attitude to money. Attitude to money. So what is the attitude to money that the poor people have that is making them poorer? What is the attitude to money that the dejected people of this world have that is not making money to flow to them? What are they doing wrong? Why is it that the little they have is being taken away from them? What about, how can they even have attitude to money when they don't even have this money in the first place? So these are some of the things that really brought pain to my heart and bringing pain to my soul and making me to seek for answer, to look for solution. But Jesus talks about it. And if Jesus talks about it, it means he knows what he's saying. He is the author of the universe. He is the creator of all human beings. He loves all men. He died for all men. So if he's mentioning this point, he knows something that we don't know. It means we should try to understand what he's talking about. And what he's talking about here, I will try to explain to you why the poor gets poorer is because he says because of their attitude to ungodly or unrighteous mammon, to worldly wealth. What are the wrong attitude of the poor that makes them to get poorer? One, most poor people in the world don't know that there is anything like the loss of money. So that is already a sure banker failure component. That already secures their failure right there. Many people, and especially poor people, don't know that life is based on laws and principles, that life is predictable. Many poor people have the wrong understanding when it comes to money and wealth and riches. Many people have the understanding they have, or the value system that they have, or the worldview that they have, is that it is destiny that decides, or fate. Not faith, but fate that decides. It is fate that decides who has money. So when they see that they don't have money, many of them just succumb to it. They just submit to it, and they say, well, this wealth or this riches is not everybody that will be rich now. How can everybody be rich? Everybody cannot be rich, and that if we don't have money, it's destiny that has decided like that, or it's the gods that have decided like that, or it is God Himself that has decided that like that. That some should not be wealth. Some should not be rich, and some should not. That is just destiny. God distributes to people the way they want, but the way He wants. We blame God for what people have or what they don't have. And that is one of the wrong things in attitude to ungodly mammon. That is one of the first and one of the most, faulty things that poor people think. And as long as you are thinking like that your wealth does not depend on you, because most poor people believe that their wealth does not depend on them, or their poverty is not because of them. Many of them think that their poverty or their wealth depends on destiny, or depends on someone somewhere. And I'm not talking about only poor people in Africa right now. I'm not talking about only the absolutely, dejected and wretched poor people. I'm talking about anybody that asks anything that is worth less than $1 million. To me, that means you are not rich. Maybe you are not poor, but you are not rich. And especially if you are, going from from pocket to mouth, or what, from table to mouth, what do they call it? From, there's a saying that the way they say it, from mouth to mouth or whatever. I forgot. Maybe somebody could write the word I'm looking for, this phrase I'm looking for. If you are struggling to make a living, then you are poor. If you are just, from hand to mouth, that's right. If you are just living from hand to mouth, then you are poor. Anybody that is living from hand to mouth and just trying to make ends meet and just trying to, to struggle to pay school fees and struggling to, to do this, to do that, you might struggle sometimes, not because you don't have money, but because money is working for you. That is different. But if you are going from paycheck to paycheck, and you are going from hand to mouth, and you are just struggling to make ends meet and to make a living, it means you are poor. So I'm not just talking about the poor, wretched people in the desert. But what I'm saying is that one of the things that you must change about yourself, one of the things that you must change about your attitude, and what God is talking about here, that the poor people are poor because of their attitude to ungodly riches, because of their attitude to money, is the fact that they don't know that money answers to laws. Money answers to law. Money answers to law. That money, wealth, or lack of it is as a result of understanding of laws. Laws that you know or laws that you don't know. When you know the laws of money, you become wealthy because you have right attitude to money. But when you don't know the laws of money, you become poor because money and our poverty as the answer to wealth. Money is only as a result, is only a reward for knowing the laws of money. Money only, they only follow laws of money. So most people who are poor in the world, they have the wrong attitude to money. And the first attitude that is wrong that they have is that they don't even know that it is law that is responsible to the person, for riches. People who are rich and people who are rich and people who are not rich, depends on what they know. Number two, so another wrong attitude that poor people have in regards to money is that they think that money is just comes from fate, from destiny, that it is only God that decides who gives money. And these are not just illiterate people. Some of these people are not illiterate. Some of these people are very educated. Some of you that are listening to me today are very educated. But you will go and do dumb things like going to bring money and all your money and be given to church and say you are giving sacrificial offering because some preachers preach that to you. So it means you are actually believing in the real sense that wealth is as a result of somebody decides your wealth. That is God that decides your wealth. That is God that brings money or doesn't bring money. So you are actually trying to tell me that God is responsible for your poverty and that it is because you have not given enough to the church or to the pastor or to God that you have not been rich. It's not somebody that decides your poverty or your wealth. It is you and what you know. So when you are going to try to go and bribe God, when you are trying to go and bribe God, when you are trying to bring money to this pastor, to this prophet, to this apostle, to this church and to that church, and you are bringing to this project and to that project, you are only going to get poorer unless you are doing those given on the instruction of God. But not for you to get rich, because if you want to get rich, richness and and wealth does not come because you are trying to bribe God or not, or you are bringing more and more offering to God. You only get poorer because you are not putting it to work. You are not following the laws of money. God does not send money from heaven. God does not print money in heaven. He has given us the principles. He has given us the rules. He has given us the laws. Follow the laws and you will prosper. Even if you never go to church once in your life, even if you are a Buddhist or Chinese monarch, but you are following the laws of money, you will be richer than that person that is going to bring offering to all the prophets in town. Because it is not by bringing money to prophets or to churches that will make you wealthy. It is by you knowing the laws of money and abiding by it. Yes, your riches could be caused if you don't bring your tithe and offering. If you don't honor the Lord with your wealth, maybe it could your riches could be caused. But riches and wealth come after the laws of money. They follow principle. This is a principle matter. It's not a religious matter at all. If it had been a religious matter, then only Christians will be rich. If it had been a religious matter, then only people who are bringing money to prophets and churches will be wealthy. But the richest people in the world today, some of them are not even believers. Some of them are not even Christians. Why? Because they follow the laid down principle of God. But unfortunately, most people who don't have money, most rich people, unfortunately, they are thinking that their wealth or their money depends on someone. It depends on God, or it depends on luck, or it depends on the gods, or it depends on the devil. Some people even think their lack of money because of Satan. Oh my. Rubbish, rubbish. Ignorance. That is what ignorance is doing for us. To us. Ignorance is keeping us in poverty. So that's why God is saying, if you cannot, just what Jesus is trying to say, if you cannot even understand, if you cannot even, get understanding and, think right concerning money, how could you be rich? You are not faithful. You are not faithful. You did not, you don't show responsibility. You didn't show responsibility. You didn't show faithfulness in getting to know laws of money. You didn't show faithfulness in God, in relations, to money and to unrighteous mammon. If in this unrighteous or ungodly wealth or worldly wealth, this ordinary thing, you cannot even clear your mind. You cannot even have the right understanding. What are you thinking about riches? Bigger riches. So, that's why the poor person must first of all change his attitude. First of all, poor person must begin to think right about money. He must have the right understanding about money. Now, what is the next reason? What is God talking about here? That poor person is poor because he's having, what are the other wrong attitudes he's having concerning money? What are the other wrong attitude a poor man is having regarding money? Another poor attitude that is keeping the poor and the rich is because the poor man does not know that money is not supposed to be spent. Each time I speak about this law of money, that money is not supposed to be spent, everybody is always shocked. They are always, expressing their shock and surprise to me that, what do you mean? Some people are even writing me, we are confused. If money is not to be spent, well, then what is money supposed to be meant for? But the rich people know that the first obligation of money is not that it must not be spent. Money must never be spent. But the poor people don't know this. Poor people think that money is only for spending. They actually think, as a matter of fact, money must be spent. In fact, there are people who even have saying that money is for spending. And and it is only the mediocre that spend money. But the fool wastes money. But the rich and the wise invest money. Money, that is another thing that the poor people, that is keeping them to be poor. Because no matter how much amount of money you are giving, if your mentality, if your mindset is that money must be spent, even if they are giving you $1 million, you will be spending it. For example, I wrote it in my book, Money Won't Make You Rich. I want to give you an example that's very interesting. I came to the church one day and asked my people, I said, how many of you believe that it is lack of money that is not making you to please God, to serve God the way you would have liked to serve Him? How many of you, would have served God and pleased God if you were given $1 million? So then everybody, almost 99% of the people raise up their hands. They need more money. It is money. If the money issue could be resolved, they think then everything will be good in their lives. Okay? So I called them I said, okay, let's assume that I give you people, each one of you $1 million. But I said, before I give you that money, you must answer just one question. Just one question. Just one question. You must answer one question before I give you the $1 million. To all of them that are there, all of them, each one of you. And the question is, what do you plan to do with $1 million if you are given today? So all my members started coming forward. It was a shameful thing. Some of them said, first of all, I will give my tithe. Another one said, I will give 50% to the church as a blessing, as a tithe. I will thank God, Then another one said, I will go and build, after all of them, I say after tithe and offering, they will go and build orphanages. Somebody wants to go and build orphanages. Somebody wants to go and build house for old people, senior citizens homes. Someone wants to go and build house for his parents, for the this, for the relatives. Somebody wants to go and put it in the bank. Somebody wants all kind of things. But everything that they said comes to the same thing. The bottom line of everything they said is that we are going to spend it. If we are given $1 million, I'm going to spend it. I will buy this, I will buy this, I will send my children to this school, I will buy a house, I will buy a car, I will travel, I will go. And then the good ones who think they are really pious, they are righteous. Someone said I will go and build the church because our church didn't have a building. I will go and use the money to build a church, a property for the church. Then the other person said, I will go and build orphanage. Some other person said, I will go and build for senior citizens. So they are going to spend the money. And that is the attitude of poor people. Because they didn't work for it, they don't know the value, but more importantly, they don't know the laws. Even if they work for it, they don't know the laws of money, and that's why they keep on getting poor. And they don't know that law. And the law says that the first law of money is that money must not be spent. But what they are telling me is that if I give them $1 million, they are going to just squander it and spend it. But they don't know that that is irresponsibility. They don't know that that thing they have just said now is irresponsibility. That thing they have just said, it shows that they don't know what to do with money. And that even if I give them that $1 million today, in the next 2 years, they will be back in square one. Don't you know the statistics of lottery players, the winners, the people who won the biggest lotteries in the world? 80% of them in the next 10 years are back in square one. Those of them who were homeless before they won the lottery, in 10 years' time, no matter how many millions they win, but in the next 10 years, they are homeless again. Those one of them who didn't have a house and a car, but in the next 10 years, they are back in the square one. They don't have anything again. So when you are naive like that, and you say, oh, because I'm a Christian, and that everything that comes to my hand, I want to just go and use it. It means that you are just moved by emotions. And money is not something that should be money is not something that should be used by emotion. You have to always separate your emotions from money. You have to always separate your emotions from money. Now, somebody, Betty, I bet maybe she's here with us today. Betty Mula, I think. She wrote me on Facebook this morning, I think yesterday, and said that, Pastor, so what do you mean? Does that mean that I shouldn't be kind anymore? Because I like to be kind and to help people. When I have money, I like to go and help poor people. I want to give to people who are in need. There is no problem about that. You remember yesterday I spoke about the fact that you must have at least 30% of your money, any money that comes to your hand, 30% to 50% must be used to pay yourself. You must use it as investment. You must put it in investment. Now, and then, but if you put 30% in investment, you still have 70%. So there is no problem in you going to build orphanages or going to give to the poor or going to feed this and that, but not use the whole money for that. And that is not the first priority. The first priority is for you to retain the money, not to spend the money, to retain the money. And the next priority is for you to invest the money. Then out of the 70% or 50% that is left, you can meet your needs. If you want, go and throw it in the streets. Go and just splash it to the poor people. If you want, go and do that. But that is not the first priority. Once you begin to see that as your first priority, it means you are being moved by emotion. And once you begin to give money out left and right like that, you will not be able to pay yourself and you will not be able to even invest anything. So the right answer to that question of if you are giving $1 million today, what do you do with it? The right answer should be, first, I will use maybe 80% of it or 70% of it or minimum 50% of it I will put in investments so that you will not be a waster. You will put them in investments. You will put them, in projects and ventures that are returning that same amount of money to you every year. so that you are gaining another. If you put, let's say $500,000, $500,000 in a business, that same amount should be coming back to you maybe every year. So then that means, you have secured that money. That means you have retained the original money, because it will keep on coming. Then the original $1 million is still there. You will still have $1 million. Then out of the 80, so you use 50%. Let's say 50% for investment. Then you can use, let's say, 30% or 20%, $200,000 to start a business. So a business is different from investment. So that is like your work. You go and start the business you like, or the mission, or your passion, whatever your passion is. What is good when your passion becomes your business, or it's good when you turn your passion to your business. So you go and I put that 10% or 20% or 30% in your passion and turn into business. Make it begin to make money for you as well, while you are serving God with it. Then you have another 20% left. So that 20% that is left, you can go and pay your tithe, do your offering, and do everything that you want to do. Keep some for your family. But then you have, first of all, you have retained the money. You are retaining it, not by saying you don't touch it all. You know that you have not touched it, you just go and retain it and put it somewhere. No, that is not retaining. And even if you put it in a bank, that is still not retaining, because they give you just small percentage and all that. So bank is not in the business of multiplying your money. Banks don't multiply money for anybody. Bank are in the business of taking your money. So if you want to multiply money, it's not bank you should be going to. It is investment. So what am I saying? Poor people are getting poorer because they don't know these things. So why is the poor getting poorer and the rich getting richer? Because of what they know, because of the principles they follow or they refuse to follow. Because the poor people don't know that life is predictable. The poor people, they don't know that that you have some things you are supposed to do with money, and they don't relate to it properly. They don't know that money is not to be spent. They are just spending money, and that's why I gave you the example with my members. Even though they are good people, some of them are the kindest people you want, but money doesn't come to you because you are kind. Money doesn't come to you because you are good. Money doesn't come to you because you are a Christian. Money doesn't come to you because you are poor, or you are wretched, or because you are in need. Money doesn't come to you because of all those sentimental and emotional stuff. Money comes to you according to the principles and rules of law. These are laws that are established, and there is nothing you can do about it. So when God is saying that, one of the reasons why the poor is getting poorer is because of the wrong attitude to money. They don't have the right attitude to ungodly wealth. So if you are not responsible, and God calls that unfaithfulness, God calls that irresponsibility. So if you are not responsible enough to know what to do with money, if you are not faithful enough to know how to, what it should be the right attitude to money, so why then are you trying to, you should say, blame God, or blame destiny for that? So God cannot give you something serious. He cannot trust you with something serious, because you don't even have the right attitude to elementary things. So the poor get poorer and the rich get richer because of their attitude to money. Another reason is because of what I've just said. Many poor people don't even know what an investment is. Like, for example, someone just wrote me now, where can we invest money? What is investment? Because that's why we're poor. We don't know how to even find investment. We don't know even how to find opportunities. I have a book that somebody is editing from Iowa, one of the girls here who volunteered to help me edit my book. The book is written already, just we need to put it in better English. So it's called Life is an Opportunity. So how to find opportunities in life. But that's by studying, you see. That is by short session. So that's by not being lazy in the mind. So I hope that book will come out this year, and then on time, and we'll publish that book this year, so that it will help you people to find opportunities. And so you will not be asking me, where can I find investment? Of course, I can help people if you have money and you already want to invest your money, and but I will not tell you right here where to be investing money, because this is a public forum. So I will rather tell you that if you have money you want to invest, write me personally, and I will be able to deal with your own situation deal with your situation in the, specifically with you and give you advice. It depends on many things. It depends on how much money you have. It depends on, it depends on many things anyway. So I'll be able to give you some advice if you have problem in that area. So anyway, so because of these things that the poor people don't know, and that's why they cannot be trusted with money, and that's why they don't have money. And also, like I said the last time, poor people are getting poorer because even if you give them money, okay, those ones in the church, you know what they said, they are going to use this to build this, they are going to do orphanage, they are going to do that. It's because they are in the church, and because they are answering pastor. But I think that in the real sense, when they are at home, when they don't, all of you are making money every month. You getting salary. I don't think all of you are going to build orphanages. I know what you are doing with your money. You are spending your money on yourself. You are spending your money to live the good life and to show off. That is what the poor people do with money. And that's one of the reasons the poor people get poorer. Why? Because they don't control their appetite. Unfortunately, many poor people don't control their appetite. In the US, for example, there is a problem of obesity. And the people who suffer most from obesity? The black community, the poor. How can you be poor and be suffering from obesity? If you are having obesity, it means you are not poor. You have enough to eat. You have too much to eat. Because the poor people have not learned to control their appetite. The poor people have not learned to control their taste. The poor people just go for it. They just squander what they have. And that is another problem why the poor gets poorer. And another reason why the poor gets poorer, even when they are giving them welfare and free money, is that, for example, if they give you, let's say, they give you $1,000 every month as welfare, just for free. You know what the poor people do? They don't go and invest that money. They don't go and retain that money. What they do with that money is that they go and look for I think the statistics says that 70% of all shoes in America are being bought by black people. 70%. So there are black people they are poor. They are the poorest in the country, but they are the ones buying all the shoes. Why do you need shoes? Some of them are using flashy shoes. That is what poor people do. Poor people are using their money to just go and spend it. They just spend it. And what does that mean? When they give you $1,000 a month and you are running right to the store, what that means is that you are giving that money they are just giving you are giving it back to the rich. Because who are the owners of the shops? They are the rich. Who are the owners of the supermarket? They are the rich. So whatever the government or anybody is giving you or whatever you are making from your job, you are running immediately to go to eBay or to go to mall, to go to supermarket. You are returning it right into their hands. Some of them, if you go to the the hoods in America, where they are the rich, they are the wretched poor people. You see the most popular cars there are Mercedes-Benz and Cadillac. So the people who are supposed to be the poorest in the country, they are the ones riding on the Mercedes-Benz. How are they getting the money? They are using it to buy. They are getting it through loan. They are using their welfare money to do it. And so just horrible stuff because they don't know the laws of money. And so, first of all, we must change the mindset of these people. Why is that bad? Because when they are giving you money or you are taking loan and you are using that money and returning it to the owner, to the people who are already rich, because Mercedes-Benz and the car dealers, they are already rich, and you who is poor, the little money you have, the last money you are running to the store to give it to the car dealer. The car dealer is already having so many cars, is already so rich, but you are emptying your pocket to go and give to him so that you will be able to use his car. But that car is not worth that amount because he has to make profit. The dealer has to make profit, the owner has to make profit, and they are all riding on your back, and you are the one who pay for the whole thing. You pay for the expense of the car, you pay for their profit, you pay for all the workers because you are the one buying it. So the poor people are taking their money that they have to buy, things. They are giving by buying things and by dreaming of the new thing you are going to buy. They want to buy iPhone, iPad, You are rich, you have not multiplied the money. You are not poor. You are not rich, you are poor. You've not multiplied your money. You've not even kept the money. You've not even retained the money. You are taking the money they just gave you to buy iPad. So iPad is getting richer, Apple is getting richer, Mercedes-Benz is getting richer, the supermarkets are getting richer, and you are getting poorer. That is one of the reasons why the poor get poorer. Because as soon as money gets into the hand of the poor, they are looking where to spend it. They are looking for where to spend it. They are looking for the latest bag to buy. They are looking for the latest shirt to buy. They are looking for the party to go to. They are looking for the restaurant to go. So the thing that comes into their hands, they are spending it because they don't know the laws of money. And the first law of money is that money must not be spent. The second law of money is that money must be retained. And they don't follow these laws. So that's why Jesus is saying, how will you now say you should be trusted with something more serious? When God cannot even trust you with worldly wealth, with ungodly worldly wealth, the ordinary mundane things like money. You have not exercised control, self-control in regards to money. How can God trust you with something more serious? You have not been able to exercise self-discipline with money. You have not been able to discipline your appetite, your taste. You've not been able to tame yourself. You must be able to tame yourself before money could come to you. So when 1,000 comes to you, 30%, between 30% to 70%, between 30 to 50% of that money must be allocated to paying yourself. Paying yourself means to be saved, to be retained, so that you now put it in business. Someone is asking me, so where to save? Where to invest? But I've already answered that question. Where to invest? I will still deal with that. Where to invest and what to do with the money you are saving. But you have to start with the first law first. To retain the money, or not to spend the money, or to save money. So you have to start with those little laws first. Just at least be saving first. Or at least develop, because one of the other things that the poor people do wrong is that they are looking at money as the solution to their problems. People, that's another problem. Of course, money helps us to bring solution, but they are looking at money sometimes as if money is everything they need. Money is their deliverance. But in the real sense, you shouldn't look at money. You should be able to develop some supremacy over money, some dominion mindset over money, so much that you should be able to look at money and not touch it. You should be able to look at money and disdain it and disregard it. You should be able to know how to despise money. Because if you don't know how to despise money, that's one of the laws of money. You must be able to despise money. So much that you are looking at it and it's staring at you, you are staring at it, thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars, you are not touching it, you are not doing anything with it. Once you have authority, that is how you gain power and authority over money. Once you have authority and power over it that way, then it will not control you. It means you are no more the one being driven by it. It's no more driving you, it's no more sending you up and down on errand, but you are now the one controlling it because you are seeing you are not even touching it. You are not obeying its dictates. That's one of the laws of money. So that's one of the things that the poor people cannot do. The poor people have not developed the skill or the ability to look at money as pieces of paper. You must be able to get yourself to a place where you could look at money and just look at it as if it's just a piece of paper lying down. Where you'll be able to look at it and don't even pay attention. Just like you don't pay attention to papers or book, you just pass by. You must be able to pass by and look at money like that too. Your own money. Once you are able to do that, once you are able to, that's another law of money. You must be able to look at money and not be driven by it and not be pushed around by it. Then you become the master of money. And the reason why that is important is because, if you are being pushed around by money, then money will not be a tool to you. But money must remain a tool. For the rich people, the reason why they are getting richer is because they are using money as a tool. But for the poor people, they are using money as if their life depends on it. And they are being driven away. They are being driven etasketa by money. Money has become their master because they are being driven by it. They are obeying its dictates. But money is a poor master, or it's only a good servant. But so money can never become your good servant until you have disdained it to the extent that you are just saying it as paper or as a tool, just as ordinary tool that you use to do things that you need to do. So that's another reason why poor getting poorer. But I will continue this message tonight by the grace of God. I will continue this message tonight. But before then, I want you to write to me what you are thinking about this message, and I also want you to go ahead and share and share the link. Please go ahead and share this link. Let's go ahead and share the link. And I want to give me your assessment about this teaching. Give me your assessment of this teaching and what is happening to you. I don't want you to be writing good, thank you, good. No, don't praise me. It's not about me. I want to hear what is happening to you. I want to know what is happening to your mind, what you are thinking. What are your decisions? What is happening to you? What are you thinking right now? What is your emotions like? What is your feeling like with what you are hearing? Yeah, and that's what I want to hear. Not just thank you and God bless you, all those things. No. Okay, T. Mark T. Pray says, money is a good servant but a bad master. Yes, but I need to hear your comments. What are your impressions after this teaching? Festus says, eye-opener, okay? Please don't forget to go and share the link. If you have not shared this link, go to your timeline while I'll be reading the comments and go and share the link, please. Go and share the link if you don't mind. Go and share the link. Let's be a blessing to someone. Okay. Jake says, I am now going to have authority over money. That is good. Brilliant. Brilliant. You must have authority over money for you to control it. That is so nice. I like that. Great teaching. I'm not interested in great teaching or it's not great teaching. I'm interested in hearing what you are going to do with it. Angela Ono says, Pastor, thank you so much. Thank God I haven't put myself in debt. Thank God for that. You are one of the few. I'm not buy that new car. Oh, I'm not going to buy that new car again. Okay, she would have put herself in debt, she meant, if she had bought the new car. I've learned to control my emotions. Thanks, Pastor. Yes. Virginia Johnson said, pray for my country, Philippines. Okay. Bash Ojela B said she has shared. John says, these are teachings that will break the yoke of poverty. Kike says, I'm going to start working. Now, this is the kind of response I need and I want. Thank God, Kike. So it's like you are the only one hearing me. Yesterday also when I was asking what are things going through your mind, what will you tell me about the teachings? You are the only one who wrote something normal. Not the only one, but one of the few ones. Kike says, I'm going to start working on myself. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear what are your decisions. I'm going to start working on myself by paying myself first. And once it's reached 1,000, I will invest it. Brilliant, brilliant. Florence says, I am very flabbergasted because I faithfully tithe and give offering, but now I need to know the principles of money. Yes. Vida Kodua says, Pastor, I'm guilty sometimes, so I have started to do some savings. Have shared already. Thank you. T-Mac says, Pastor, your teaching has made me not to be able to buy my favorite snack anymore. On snack, you can save $5 every day on your snack and coffee. I wrote about that in my book, Money Will Make You Rich also, that what we spend on snack and coffee every day, maybe $5 or $10, you could save half of that. And by the time you begin to save $5 every day, by the end of the month, you have saved $150. And if you are saving $10 every day, by the end of the month, you have saved $300. And if you put $300 in an investment every month, and you are getting only about 20 or 10% return from it, from any business, you will become a millionaire in 6 years or 5 years, just from $150 or from $300. Pastor Valentin says, thanks, sir. We will transform our nation with these teachings. I promise you, sir. Oh, that's what I like now. Now you are talking, Pastor Valentine. Because when he says something like this, that what he's going to do, that he will transform his country with these teachings, that gives fire in me. That makes me happy that my labor is not in vain. That's why I'm not asking for offering from you. I want to hear what you want to do with it. My own particular thing is you must do something with it. And he says it makes it even much more serious. He said, I am going to transform my country with this, and I promise you. So he's making a promise. And that promise is not just to me, it's to himself and to God. So that's what I want to hear. What are you going to do? What is happening to you? What are your decisions? Because that is also one of the reasons why the poor are poor. Because they don't come to conclusions. They don't reach decisions. They don't act on what they hear. So for you, things to change in your life, you must act on what you hear. Tayo Lewi Boro says, How do you encourage those who are in debt to seek financial freedom, especially when they want to bury their head in the sand? No problem. Keep on listening to me. I'm still going to talk about how to deal with your debt. If you are having debt, how and I've thought about that a little bit. Go and listen to some of my old teachings last week, and I will still talk more about that in the future. Just keep on following. Mashu Esong said, it's not everything that I like that I have to buy. Okay, that's a conclusion, and that's a decision. I like that. Shauna, a singer, says, spot on. I'm ready to put away 30% of my monthly salary, but that's around $300. Not sure where to invest a small amount. Stocks, I'm not also going to downsize. No, not stocks. Shauna, don't worry about investing. If you have just 30%, just $300 a month. Yes, you can put it in stocks or shares, but that it has to be temporary. So that's just temporarily, all right? So $300 every month. If you are afraid that, if I were you, I would have kept it until it grows. It grows from $300 to $1,000 to $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. Then you can invest in something more meaningful. But if you are afraid that you cannot keep that kind of money in your house or save it, and you are going to be tempted, then you could put it temporarily. Every month you could be putting them in some shares or in some stocks or in things like that, so that they will not be, you'll be buying that every month. But once they are big enough, then you can go and sell them and convert them once you have money like $20,000 or $50,000, then you can go and do more meaningful investment and business. Okay, Shegun is saying, when there are needs to be met, how do you ignore money when it is available to meet those needs? That it means you have not been listening to me. Go and listen to all the teachings that I've done last week. I'm not going to be repeating the things I've already spoken about. If you want to see the recordings of my teachings, go to my blog, SundayAdelajablog.com, and look for live broadcasts. You'll be able to see that. Or you can go to my YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. You'll be able to see all the recordings there. Ikeshuku Nwadiashi said, retaining money is tough. I realized that money habits are worse than drug habits. Tough to change, easy to start. That's so good. Jonathan Kelly says, pray for me. I need to be delivered from the hold of spending. You need to pray for yourself. Unkiru says, always pay myself first, then every other thing. That's good. Good decision. Oluwatoyin says, going to do more research on where to do proper investment. I must avoid the laziness of the mind. Very good. Very good. Shegun Lawal said, the law of money is the greatest principle that I wish I had known before now. I must do something right away. That's good. Oni Hale Oluwatosin said, my perspective on money is being overhauled. That's good. Neki Okoro says, these messages has left me reflecting on my activities with money. I realize I have been spending my life away, but I have decided to make a change in my life and ministry. That is good. Auction says, okay, what do you do first when you only have 1,000 subscribers? I've already answered that. I'll go and listen to my old messages from last week. T Mark says, I'm working on myself already. Hope Alive says, looking forward to the teaching how to invest my money. Now I know the loss of money. Yes, I'm going to teach on how to invest money generally to everybody. But the ones who say they're already having money waiting and they don't know where to invest it, you can write to me personally. I can give you advice. But the ones who are just starting, just keep on saving a little bit by little. By the end of this week or next week, I will begin to talk about where to invest money and what to do with money. Okay. Emmanuel Olushola, aside investment in properties, that is the question everybody is asking. I'm going to get there, but I will not rush. I will finish the preparation to change your mindset first, because that's one of the most important loss of money, to change your mindset, change your attitude. So I'm going to work on changing your attitude first, and before I begin to tell you where to invest. I'm still having a whole teaching on the loss of money. I'm still going to spend like a whole week talking about the loss of money before I get to how to invest and where to invest. Okay. Now, nice talking to you guys. And I'll be back in the evening. God bless. Make sure you share the link. Make sure you share the link with your friends and, spread the word. Spread the word. Blessings. Bye.